Everyone knows the mainline Pokemon games, and for good reason. They are the bread and butter of the franchise after all. But we're not here to talk about any of them today. The game I do want to talk about is PokePark Wii Pikachu's Adventure. Released back in 2009 for Japan and 2010 for the rest of the world, this Wii spin-off game was quite interesting, especially considering the time of its release. In this game, you play as, well, Pikachu, obviously, and explore the vast world of PokePark. Now, the whole idea for this video first sprouted while reminiscing on the fond memories I had with this game. That's right, I have actually played this game before, but that was all the way back in 2010 when it was released, and I was an adult at the time, so the fond memories I do have with the game could easily just be a mixture of nostalgia and adolescence, which is where this video comes into play. I've decided to revisit this game and truly see if it holds up as good as I remember. Right into starting the game, you're greeted with a short cutscene of Pikachu and his friends falling down a portal created by Mew. Soon after, Mew explains what exactly it is he wants. He tells us that the Sky Prism that protects the PokePark has shattered and he needs us to find all the pieces that have scattered across the PokePark, thus giving us our main goal. From there, we arrive at the PokePark and that's where your adventure begins. After a brief introduction on the basic controls, you'll end up in the Meadow Zone, a luscious grassy terrain which serves as an introduction for what's to come. Not only was I experiencing a 3D Pokemon RPG that looked nothing like the pixelated mainline games, but I was playing Pokemon in a whole new way. I'm not a trainer, in fact, trainers don't exist in the PokePark. Instead, I'm the Pokemon itself. There is no turn-based battling where you select a move and that's it. Now, you are the Pokemon. You yourself are having Pokemon battles in 3D. You decide where to run, when to dodge, when to jump, what attack to use, it's literally all up to you. And battling isn't everything. There's hide and seek, chase, and multiple different minigames which can be played with other Pokemon. The game shows you Pokemon from a totally different perspective than what you'd experience in the mainline games. This time, Pokemon are the main characters, not just tools used for battle. Each Pokemon has a different personality and dialogue, which really makes the Pokemon feel more human, I guess? The best way I could put it is, do you guys remember those old Pokemon specials like Pikachu's Vacation and Pikachu's Christmas Vacation? If you don't, they were basically episodes that involved little to no talking or humans. It was basically just Pokemon talking, playing, and interacting with each other. And this game feels like I'm in one of those episodes, with the added bonus that I can understand all the Pokemon, of course. Now, getting back to the game itself, the meadows aren't the only area. In fact, the game is filled with multiple themed locations, all of which look pretty amazing and are filled to the brim with the type of Pokemon you'd expect to be living there. There's oceanside beaches full of water Pokemon, snowy mountains with ice types, a lava area with fire types, and much more. All of which are connected by a central hub. As for gameplay, it honestly doesn't differ too much from beginning to end. You're basically going through each area, making new friends, whether through battling, playing chase, or hide and seek, whilst also completing the main objective of collecting all the shards. And honestly, I was pretty content with that. Now sure, is this a super competitive and complex game? Definitely not. Is it geared towards a younger audience? Absolutely. But that didn't stop me from having a fun, relaxing experience. Playing the minigames, talking to each and every Pokemon with unique personalities, befriending them to unlock new Pokemon that come to visit the park, small little side missions that intertwine between zones, such as collecting wood to help Bidoof build a dam, that way he'd come with you to the beach zone and build a bridge, and the little backstories of different Pokemon, like experiences they've had with other Pokemon, both good and bad. The game overall just has a cute, unique charm that shows Pokemon off in a way we don't get to see very often. At least in the mainline games, that is. If I did have one pet peeve, it would probably have to be the camera. Being as it's a Wii game, there's no second joystick to be able to move the camera as you walk, so you're kind of stuck looking forwards unless you face a different direction and press B, and then the camera will rotate to the new position you're facing. It's not game ruining by any means, but definitely not as smooth as it could be. Overall, I quite enjoyed the game. It was fun becoming a Pokemon, getting to see all the cool locations, befriending Pokemon of all kinds, and battling and playing games amongst other things. The game wasn't hard by any means, but instead was a nice game to put on when I wanted to unwind and play a single player game. Even though the game is older, I'm gonna refrain from spoiling the ending, just in case this video inspires you to give the game a try. And if you do, feel free to come back and tell me what you thought. But to wrap it up, I honestly had a fun time revisiting this game. I'm glad I did it. In fact, I kinda wish they'd bring the PokePark series back on the upcoming Switch too. Speaking of new PokePark games, there is a second one they made, so if you guys want to see a video on that, hit the like button and comment down below. If enough of you want it, I may just have to check it out. As always, I want to give a big shout out to our channel members who help support the channel. That being said, until next time, keep exploring, keep catching, and as always, stay legendary.